I'm Max with GTN Official, and today I'm going to be reviewing the 2022 Polestar 2. Starting off on the front, we have the LED headlights on both sides. And over here on the back, we have the LED blade taillight design. Notably, this car has heated power mirrors with LED turn signal indicators. You are going to get a fake front grille made out of plastic.
The design of this vehicle is quite unique. It's neither a sedan or a crossover, it's more of a hatchback that takes the stance of a crossover. Because of this, the design is quite controversial, but I personally love this design and think it looks very futuristic and makes it stand out in a segment.
Before we get to the interior, I want to cover trunk space in this car. So let's open it up, and you are going to get a power-assisted hatchback here. Inside the trunk, you are going to get 14.3 cubic feet of cargo space with the seats folded up, or 38.7 cubic feet of cargo space with the seats folded down.
In the trunk, you are also going to get this nifty divider, as well as another large sum of storage under the trunk floor. The hatchback can also be opened from a button above the license plate, however, it cannot be closed from this button.
The front in this car opens just like the hood in any other car. You pull this lever here, and you get a satisfying little click. Once you've opened the front from the front, you then have to find the latch under the hood and pull up on it, and you can then open it up. Inside the front, you are going to have 1.2 cubic feet of cargo space as claimed by Volvo, and under here you're going to have your emergency toolkit. In terms of charging, this car is quite well equipped. It charges in about 7 hours on a level 2 home charger, or it takes about 33 minutes to go from 10 to 80% on a 150 kilowatt DC fast charger. Next, we're going to move on to the interior. So the first thing I want to cover on this car's interior is the seats. This car does have the Plus package on it, which is a $4,000 add-on, and you are going to get Napa leather here, which is incredibly comfortable. Heated and ventilated power seats with 2 memory positions and lumbar support. The materials in this car are incredible. They are very smooth, everything is nice and vegan, aside from the Napa leather, which is an add-on for this package, and they are all around the high quality that you would expect from any other Volvo car. In terms of front storage, you are going to get this glove box, which is a very reasonable size and is dampened. You're also going to get storage on both doors in these side panels, as well as this center console storage seen here, which is quite small and really just enough for a drink and not much else. In terms of screens here, you are going to get an 11.15-inch driver display that has all the information you need readily available, as well as a 12.3-inch infotainment display powered by Android Automotive, which was custom designed for this vehicle. The Android Automotive display is quite unique here because it doesn't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto like most cars do, but it has a lot more features and it is incredibly intuitive, and I'm about to get into that right now. Okay, so for the infotainment display, here is Android Automotive, and Google has really integrated a lot of features into this. It works incredibly well. You have your main drive mode settings here. You have the steering feel, which allows you to customize how light the steering is or how heavy it is. Put it on standard. You have your sport mode here and your one-pedal driving for recharge here. This car can recharge it up to 100 kilowatts through one-pedal driving. You also have creep, so as in most gas cars, you can creep at 3 or 4 miles an hour when you take your foot off of the brake. This car, you can turn it off, or you can have it on. So if it's off, the car will not move anywhere when you have no foot on either pedal. Alright, so moving over to the Assist tab, you are going to have some standard driver assistance features. If you upgrade to the Pilot package, you will get a higher level of assistance, but you are still going to get lane keeping assist and basic driver alerts, and even roadside information on the driver display for every trim of this car. And of course, you are going to get collision avoidance as well. Moving over to the Charge tab in the infotainment, it is going to show you pretty basic information about your car's charge level, and you're also going to get a few other features in the More tab that you can customize. Now, the big thing with this car is that it is powered by Google, so you're getting all of Google's features right at your fingertips, and the biggest one of those for a car is Google Maps. Having Google Maps built into the car is pretty incredible because it's directly integrated. You don't need to go through a smartphone or have anything plugged in. You can type your destination right into Google Maps and have yourself there right away. It is seamless, it works perfectly, and has very few issues.
I wanted to make a quick side note and say that this car does have superb Google Maps support within the dash cluster. It is the best map integration I've ever seen into a dash cluster, and it is incredible while driving.
This car is also going to have integrated voice control with Google Assistant, which you can activate via the steering wheel. So you can say things like, direct me to the nearest Walmart.
Sure, Walmart Supercenter.
And there you go. This car also has a feature where it will add charging stops to your route for scenarios where you're going too far to go on one charge. So the Google system will automatically detect chargers that are near and on your route, and you can add them and make detours to it. It's not quite as good as Tesla or Hyundai's system, but it is a quite intuitive and fast to use system. In terms of climate control, you can swipe up from any spot on the infotainment system to access the climate control. You are going to have heated front seats and a heated steering wheel, which is incredibly comfortable, as well as ventilated front seats that you can control from here. You can also control the fan speed from here, and you can control the auto climate control system.
The rear seating in this vehicle is quite nice. You are going to get the same Nappa leather seen on the front seats, as well as heated rear seats. You are also going to get rear seat climate vents, as well as a fold-down armrest with cup holders. Rear seat legroom is ample for the class, but not great. At 5'8", I was perfectly comfortable sitting in the rear seats. However, at 6'2", my cameraman struggled to comfortably sit there.
And with that, we are going to move on to driving this car. Alright guys, here is the POV portion of the video. So here we are in the Polestar 2. You guys are now getting my point of view. Let's put it in gear, so just put your foot on the brake and then pull this all the way down for drive. You can actually feel a little click. If it's in neutral, it'll only click once to let you know. In reverse, it's a little different. Speaking of reverse, let's take a look at the cameras that this car has to offer. Let's throw this car in reverse and just avoid getting hit by that guy. Here we go. We are in reverse, and there's the cameras. This model is not going to have a 360 camera, but it is going to have parking sensors, which are going to show up right there. So here's what you're going to get with that. Pretty high quality camera with steering wheel guidance. Let's get out of this parking lot now. So here we go. And the camera is going to stay on for a little bit, even after going to the next thing. And although this infotainment is nice, my favorite part of it is right here. You can make instant adjustments to how the car drives, and that is just great. Traction control off is a scary thing to have in Michigan. And I cannot stress enough how beautiful this driver display cluster is. All the information you need is so clear and present right in front of you. And the map using Google Maps is just excellent. This infotainment software is excellent, albeit a bit buggy, but very, very well designed. Steering wheel controls, not a fan of the gloss black, not many people are, but they work well and they are nice looking. Here we go. Let's get some nice acceleration going. You guys can see the speedometer, hopefully. And that is not full throttle or even close to it, but you guys can see this thing really does pick up. I'm hoping I can get to be first at a light so I can show you guys a flat 0 to 60. I got no guarantees though. And to be fair, the 0 to 60 that will be shown right now won't be perfectly accurate to the car at its best performance because it is a 34-degree Michigan day. 34 and snowy at that. Another thing I gotta mention that I absolutely am loving about this car is its traction and handling. The traction here is just beyond great. For any car it's great, but it's also good for an all-wheel drive car. The handling is also very, very nice. It handles like a car, much smaller than it is, and I say that in the best way possible. This car handles better than you would expect it to when you look at it. And this thing is just so incredibly smooth and crisp. We have some real nice regenerative braking as well. One thing I am noticing, the acceleration is incredibly sensitive. However, you have to press pretty hard before it starts accelerating at all. Once you hit that point where it starts accelerating, it's accelerating. Like you are going. And that's a really nice thing, that instant torque. It's like driving a giant go-kart. You are getting solid range with this car. The all-wheel drive variant is going to get you 249 miles of range. If you switch to the front-wheel drive variant, I believe you'd get 270. so a little bit of an upgrade there. The all-wheel drive variant is significantly more popular. The Polestar Experience Center, where I have been test driving this car out of, has sold 65 of these in the past 2 months, the 2022 model year.
Before we wrap up the driving section of this video, I wanted to show you guys a 0 to 60 acceleration test of this car. Keep in mind this is not under ideal conditions, the ground was not flat, and the battery was quite cold at the time. It was giving me the ice indicator indicating possible slow acceleration, but other than that, I still did want to show you guys what it would look like to accelerate from a stop to 60 miles per hour in this car. Here we go. There we are. That Audi is hilariously far behind us now. Don't know if you guys can really see it. The 2022 Polestar 2 all-wheel drive is one of the most fun cars I've ever driven. Its interior design is incredibly luxurious, and its exterior design is nothing short of brilliant. The Polestar 2 handles like a car much smaller than it is and accelerates like a race car, making it incredibly enthralling every time you get in the driver's seat. It is, however, not without its shortcomings. Its cargo space leaves something to be desired with an incredibly small frunk that doesn't make use of its lack of an internal combustion engine as many of its competitors do. Its range also falls behind the ranges of many similar vehicles. Those shortcomings aside, however, this is an incredible vehicle and I would highly recommend it to anyone looking for an electric luxury vehicle in a $50,000 range.
Thank you for watching. I'd like to give a huge thank you to LaFontaine Volvo of Farmington Hills for allowing me to film this video with their Polestar 2 over the course of 2 days. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to my channel or donating to my Patreon at the link in the description, as it immensely helps me out. You'll see recommended videos for you here, and I hope you give them a try. Thank you all so much for watching, and this is GTN Official, signing off.